So in this video, I'm going to give you the grand tour of the Hillcrest Road area, which is one of the most popular streets in all of the city of Mobile. And we're going to go through some neighborhoods, we're going to talk about some shopping, some restaurants, and we're going to talk about one of the reasons why people are selling their expensive homes that they've raised their families in, and then when they get of a certain age, they're downsizing, moving to more of a retirement area. So let's go ahead and start this off in Hillcrest Crossing, just off of Hillcrest Road, and I'll give you the grand tour, and then we're going to end up at a place where you can see the entire area from a little bit higher view. So Hillcrest Crossing is an area, houses range, the low end will be $250, and I would say the high end is about $330-ish. Most of them are brick homes, as you can tell, 2-car garages, and sidewalks. The HOA fee, I just saw a sign, is $185, so that's not bad. But also, there's some elderly people here, so if you move into this area, you know, there are going to be a lot of folks that are out walking. I saw a gentleman hanging out in his garage, just sitting there. I've been by this neighborhood many times, and he's still there. And this is the kind of place that's a little more chill, but it's in the heart of everything. So if you leave your house in 5 minutes, or actually in 2 minutes, you can have some of the best pizza in all of Mobile and many, many other things. So my name is Jeff Jones with Keller Williams. I live here in Mobile. I've lived here my whole life, and I've got a lot of videos that talk about different things here in the city of Mobile, so that if you have questions about moving here, you know, you're not quite sure what it's really like, and you need some eyes and ears on the ground, well, that's what I made the videos for. You know, I love this place. Yes, it is hot, but it is so great when you compare it with so many other places around the country. Our cost of living is low, our housing is inexpensive, and there are a lot of job opportunities with all of the advancements and developments that are coming to Mobile. So, the other thing I like about this area, if you look to the right, that's actually the Keller Williams office here in Mobile. And so, I'm very familiar with Hillcrest Crossing just behind us. As you can see ahead, we're getting ready to get on Hillcrest Road, and then the tour is going to begin, and I'll talk about the neighborhoods and some of the other things that make this area so popular. So as we go through this intersection, this is actually Grelot Road, and Grelot and Hillcrest can be pretty hectic at 5 o'clock traffic. It's backed up, could be for several light cycles, but it dissipates, you know, maybe an hour later, smooth sailing after that. And over to the right, you've got several businesses. And then over to the left, you'll see they're building something new. It's called, I think it's called DBAT, which is like a development training center for baseball. And so it's going to be really popular. And I'm going to turn in here, Sugar Creek. I featured this neighborhood in the past, but we're going to turn in here to show you a price point that's in the 300,000 range. Now some go up, you know, touching 500, and then others, you know, they're gonna be in that mid 300 range. And you're gonna see a hodgepodge. You're gonna see houses that are well taken care of, and you're gonna see houses that need a little TLC. And you may see some that need a lot of TLC. But this is a really popular area. Houses are built in the 70s and 80s, and yeah, folks tend to take care of the place. They invest in their yard, and they continue to make upgrades. And the reason why is because the location is so great, people continue to invest because of that. So we're going to make this circle, and I'm going to come out the other end. But as we talk about this, one of the things I'm going to say is you'll see a lot of brick houses here, and most of the roofs are going to be what they call architectural shingle. If you look to the right, that looks like a house with a brand new roof on it. And that roof probably cost about $18,000, that's my guess. And then just think about that when you're buying houses here. How old is the roof? That's going to be a big factor when purchasing a home. You know, a lot of people ask me, Jeff, what is the most important thing when buying a house? When I work with buyers, what I say, we have 3 things that I get asked about the most. Number 1 is the age of the roof. Is it architectural, or is it a 3-tab shingle? Let's see if we can find a 3-tab shingle to compare it with. Hey, look, to the right, that's a metal roof. You don't see many of those in Mobile, but they are gaining popularity. And then if you look to the right again, you'll see that is a 3-tab shingle. It needs to be cleaned off, but most roofs that are being put on today are an architectural shingle. I highly recommend it. It lasts longer. The other thing that's important, people ask me, what about the age of the air conditioning, the HVAC unit? So that's an important thing. Average lifespan can be 15, 20 years. So the newer, the better. And then the other thing is, what about the water heater? What about the age of that? And so those are the things that are most important when you're selling a home, but when you're buying, especially in Mobile, those are the things that matter. So we're going to pull back out, and you'll see there is an apartment complex across the street. And so people ask me about rentals all the time, and that's an apartment complex that's in the heart of everything. As we continue the journey, you are going to see that there's a tree that's very popular in Mobile all along the right. You're going to see these are called crepe myrtles. And I had a house, the house I was in previously, this crepe myrtle in my backyard was massive. So it provides some shade, and they're pretty easy to maintain, nothing special. And you're going to see those everywhere around Mobile. Now, as we turn in here, this is going to show you an extreme neighborhood. One of the most expensive, exclusive neighborhoods in all of Mobile. It's called Canebreak. And there's some houses in here that are well over $1 million. And it's quite a bumpy ride to pull in. And you can see these properties, a lot of them are over an acre as well. And this is the place where you can get space, you can get a large estate home, and the location is incredible. No complaints about that whatsoever. So I'll just be quiet and let you take in some of these estates because they are truly amazing. One house, this was actually just finished. It's a very modern house. You don't see many houses like that in Mobile, but yeah, pretty new construction. Definitely a very, very unique house. So we'll turn around and we'll head back to Hillcrest, where you can see some houses that are a little less expensive, a little more of the average home price in the city of Mobile. So as we turn back onto Hillcrest, we're going to go in, take one little trip on the left into one of the most popular neighborhoods in Mobile called Hickory Ridge. This has been around for a very long time, very popular. I've talked about it in many of my videos, but I just wanted to touch base with this again to show you that you can live here for less than $300,000 in a neighborhood that has a lot of sense of community. You've got sidewalks, street lights. They do children's parades for Christmas, Mardi Gras, mature trees. These houses are going to maintain and increase their value because of the location. And all of these houses, they're all, I guess at the time when they were built, they were all like custom houses back in the 80s, 70s some. But this is an area that you can buy a house in and feel pretty confident about your investment. I don't get the impression that there are a lot of rentals here. I think people buy these houses, or they bought them in the 80s, and a lot of them still live here. And so it's a really strong, established neighborhood called Hickory Ridge in the probably 275 to 350-ish range. That's a pretty good estimate on the price. And then we pull back out here on Hillcrest, and we're going to hit the corner, which will take us to some shopping. And let's see here. We'll pull out. We don't want to get hit. There we go. And as we head this direction, we're heading south on Hillcrest. We've got more neighborhoods. You've got Maryknoll over here on the right. Very established neighborhood again, houses built in the 70s. And then you've got, let me turn in here, another one of my favorite neighborhoods. I just have a lot of favorite neighborhoods in Mobile. Another one, where we're going to turn in here. This is one of the only neighborhoods in all of Mobile that has a community pool that's part of the HOA. And so it's called Inverness. And I'm just going to make one quick circle to a cul-de-sac and turn back around. But these are going to be, you know, that 300 range, some of them up maybe top 300s. But it's got a tennis court, a swimming pool, houses that are unique. Not a lot of cookie cutter houses here. We'll turn in here. It looks like they need to cut the grass, but hey, so do I. The grass, you got to cut it about once a week here. And we'll look over here. You got the swimming pool. You've got tennis courts and houses that range, again, in the 300s. Brick houses for the most part. It's like this tight-knit community that's over here just off of Hillcrest. Now, if you look to the right, you'll see Hillcrest Self-Storage. And that's just another storage place in Mobile. I made another video a few videos back that highlighted all of the storage facilities because they are everywhere. And here is a very popular shopping center. There's a Publix on the right. There's a chicken salad chick, pizza place, pet store. I mean, this is where I do a lot of my grocery shopping, at the Publix. And if you look over to the left, you're going to see this brand new coffee shop. It just opened in Mobile. It's called Brew, B-R-E-W, Y'all, Brew Y'all. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And they've been gaining popularity. And then if you'll look straight ahead, you're going to see a restaurant that looks like, again, I've talked about this before. I think it used to be a 7-Eleven gas station called the Asian Garden. Straight ahead, you'll see that. And it is always slam packed. So it goes to show you, if the food's good, it doesn't matter what the building looks like. And we just made a right onto Cottage Hill Road. And this area has a lot of residential properties. You're going to see, over to the left, you're going to see Cottage Hills. And Cottage Hills, I've done many videos about that. They're going to range in the mid 200s to mid 300s. And then if you look to the right, you'll see more apartment complexes. And then I'm going to take you into another neighborhood on the left that's going to show you houses that are a little more expensive in Mobile. These are going to be, I believe, in the 350 range, maybe touching 400. We'll turn in here. This is a very small neighborhood, but again, very convenient. And this is called Asheville. What do you see straight ahead? Crepe myrtles. They are everywhere in Mobile, absolutely everywhere. And for those of you wondering, are there a lot of hills in Mobile? The answer to that is no, there are not. But in this little area, Cottage Hills, Asheville, there are a few, but that's about it. Not many hills in our area. Most of Mobile is flat. And you see a few stucco homes here, but for the most part, houses are brick. And these are larger houses, you know. You can live in a cul-de-sac, no traffic. That's what I tell people. If you haven't lived on a cul-de-sac, you're missing out, because it truly is a wonderful experience. No traffic. You know, people aren't driving through there unless you're making YouTube videos like me. People are not driving through there just for the fun of it. And so raising kids, you know, riding bikes, out walking, that's some of the advantages of living on a cul-de-sac. And we'll head back to Cottage Hill. What about houses that are a little less expensive? Well, here's a neighborhood on the right. I sold a house here about 2 years ago, and I think it sold for about $215,000. So we'll take a journey through here, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is Crystal Key. Again, great location, can't beat it. Super close to everything. Houses are going to be in the 200 to maybe 260 range. There was a house for sale recently. I showed it, and I think it was around 225. So we will go through here. You can look around and see most of these are going to be 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. You may find some 4 bedrooms, but mostly 3 2s, and they're going to be brick houses for the most part. I don't believe there's an HOA here. I could be mistaken, but I don't believe so. And that's one of the other things I get. A lot of people, they want to move here, but they do not want an HOA. And I will tell you, you can find lots of places to live with no HOA. However, and I want to be very, very clear on this. Sometimes when you don't have an HOA, you have folks that are, let's just say, some of their color choices, some of what they park in the front yard, some of those things may not align with what you like. And so because of that, well, it's a trade-off. Now, the other thing is, most HOAs here are very reasonable. One of the neighborhoods we just looked at, $185 for the year. And then the high end of HOAs around Mobile is usually going to be around $400 to $500. And that's it. And they're usually not that strict. We hear horror stories around the country. All these people, I'm not going to have an HOA. I'm not going to do that. Well, things are usually not that bad here. So keep that in mind. And if we go look at houses together, I will talk with you about that. And you'll see folks tend to be pretty chill when it comes to HOAs in Mobile. So we're back on Cottage Hill, and we're about to turn on Cody, which is a residential, I mean, it's just covered with residential areas. But before we do that, look over to the left. The new Wawa is coming to town, and it is almost finished. I've heard it's going to be ready in about a month or so. So looking forward to that. And we'll make a right on Cody Road. And this gas station, the Kangaroo, I got bad news for it. I think it's going to have some trouble once that new Wawa comes into town, because, you know, people always like the new exciting thing, and I think most people are going to go there. So I see a price war coming up very soon. Now, as you look to the left, it looks like Dayspring Baptist Church is getting out. So cars are starting to pour out from the church, and this is a Baptist church. It's been around in Mobile for a very long time, and great group of folks there. And then look over to the right, and this is Christ Presbyterian Church. It's been around for a while as well. A lot of churches on this street. So if you're looking for a church in the Mobile area, you are not going to have a problem at all. I'll take a quick turn in here. This is a neighborhood called Lexington, and these are going to range from about 400 to maybe the upper 5s. I think that's probably the top. And again, brick, stucco. I think the square foot minimum's around 2,700. And you'll see that these homes, pretty good sized yards, sidewalks, small neighborhood, probably 70-ish houses, and that's it. It's been around since about the mid to late 90s. And then we'll get back on Cottage Hill and head back down, and we're going to come up to 2 other churches. On the left, you have a Seventh-day Adventist church, and then on the right, you've got a Catholic church. And then we're going to make a left turn into this neighborhood. I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. You know, sometimes you take things for granted. You're like, you see the sign every day, but you're not quite sure how to pronounce it. I'm going to call it, let's see, Shalanda. There you go. Shalanda Estates. And these houses are going to be brick, stucco, 3, probably mid-3s to around 500. Again, crepe myrtles everywhere. Some of these homes are really large. Now, The reason I brought you this way is to show you that this actually takes you to one of the private schools in the area, Cottage Hill Baptist Church. I did another video where I featured Cottage Hill. It's just massive, massive church. And they have the lower school there. I think it's 1st through 8th grade. And then they have the high school here, which we're about to take a little turn into. And this is 9th grade through 12th grade. So it's out here in West Mobile. And if you want a private school option, well, this is a choice. And then you've got even further out in West Mobile, you've got Faith Academy. So lots of different choices for schooling if you don't want to go the public school route. Now, if you look to the right, way back there, you'll see that someone is building a house. This is an example where somebody buys some property and they want a little space from their neighbors, and look what they have done way back there. That is a nice, very nice house. And right across from the school. So here we go. This is the Cottage Hill Warriors, and I'm gonna turn in here and back around. Actually, let's not do that. Let's go straight, because I want to show you this is connected to another neighborhood. These are going to be a little less expensive, probably $275-ish, and you know, $325. Again, they've been around for a while. Neighborhoods are well taken care of. People take care of their yards. What else can I say? This is a strong area because you are literally a minute from Schillinger. And I've made other videos on Schillinger. But Schillinger has everything you could ever want in Mobile. And it's all within practically walking distance of this neighborhood. So we're going to get back onto Cody, and then we're going to wrap up very soon. But I want to show you just a couple more little highlights of the area and some things that make this a very popular place. So we're back on Cody Road, heading north, and I want to take a little dip into, this is a pretty cool place. Very unique thing to have in Mobile. It's a movie theater that is like, you know, the kind with the reclining seats. It's just a really awesome experience. The food is very good. My family and I come here about maybe once every 2 or 3 months. It's a little pricey. We'll show that up here on the left. This is called Nexus, and it's closed today, but this is the kind of place where if you want a special event, you can come here, a little date night, outing with the family. It's super, super nice. So we'll turn in here and you can see what we're dealing with here. It says I'm going the wrong way, but that's okay. And if you look over to the left, you'll see an entrance to a private residence. It is one of the largest homes in all of Mobile, and you'll have to check it out, the view above, but it is really amazing. And if you look to the right, you'll see this is a gun range. You know, people talk about gun rights in Alabama and in our area. Well, there's a gun range right there in the middle of a popular residential area, and that's a pretty popular place. It's really nice. I've been couple times, and so yep, shooting range right off of Cody Road. And we've got our share of gas stations, of course, car washes. You'll see both of those on the left. Plenty of car washes, and yep, there's another one that just is about to open on Schillinger. And then there's another one on Schillinger, there's another one. So I think there are 3 car washes on Schillinger that I know of right now. And Cody Road doesn't want to be left behind, so they're starting one right there. So we're turning off of Cody, and we're headed east on Grelot, headed back to where we started. And before we wrap up, I'll show you over to the left, there's an apartment complex. And then over to the right, you've got more land that's available. Not sure what's going to happen, but it's good to see some green space in Mobile. I don't want everything to be developed, although Mobile is really, really growing. It's always good to see that. And then over to the left, you've got Summerby. I made another video about that. It's a retirement center as well as some apartment complexes. And then you've got more commercial space over to the left. You've got some doctors over to the right. You've got real estate and insurance. And over to the right again, another apartment complex here in Mobile. And then I'm going to make one last turn into a neighborhood on the left called Lamplighter Woods. And this area has been around for a long time. I want to say 70s. And I remember that they have a new section in the back. Well, it was new when I was in high school, so it's not new anymore. But these houses are going to range, in the 300 to I don't know, maybe 275 to 375. Let's call it that. I think that's a pretty accurate estimate. If any of these look like the kind of neighborhoods you'd like to live in, well, give me a call. That's what I do. People talk about, Jeff, you always answer your phone. Well, that's my job. I always try and answer my phone if at all possible. And so people reach out, you can see the number on the screen. Call me, text me. Go to my website, livinginmobile.com. I'd love to help any way I can. That's what I love to do. I think we'll show you this new section here. Now, this is a newer section. Smaller houses, mostly brick, and low maintenance yards. So Lamplighter Woods opened up several years ago, and they said, we're going to add this little side street. Now, these are more of a cookie cutter type neighborhood, but the price reflects that, and they're really low maintenance yards as well. And these are going to be probably in the 240, 250 range, somewhere around there. I showed a house over here a few months back, and yeah, nothing too fancy. They're pretty much the same, and 2-car garage. But these are newer in the Lamplighter Woods neighborhood. And so we'll head back to Grelot Road, and then we'll wrap up the video in just a second. So we're just about to wrap up, and we're on Grelot, headed east. If you look to the right, you'll see more apartments. And look to the left. What do you see there? But another storage unit. Yep. They're everywhere. And then, of course, on the right, you've got McDonald's. And that is a pretty busy McDonald's. So I guess you'd have to be if you were in this location. So we're going to sit here in traffic for just a little bit and wrap up at the top of this hill. And I'm going to park at the top of this hill so you can see an overview of this area and why it's so congested. So we're crossing over Hillcrest, and we're going to pull into the CVS pharmacy so you can see some of the other things around this area. And lo and behold, what do you know, there's another storage unit right there in front of us. Yep, folks in Mobile got lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. So, all right, let's park over here. Now, hopefully, we'll be able to see the area. I think we will. All right. Let's drive around this parking lot so you can see. Now, over to the right, all these cars are backed up, and this is on Hillcrest Road. They're headed up north, and then they're going to be in traffic for just a little bit. Looks like the cars are moving. I'm going to turn around and park right here. You'll see the Starbucks is right across the street. I have had so many meetings there, I can't even possibly explain, but I've had a lot of meetings there at Starbucks. So you should be able to see a little bit of the area over to the left and straight ahead. And I wanted to wrap up here so you could see that. You've got a place called Ollie's, which is a very popular restaurant over to the left. And then, of course, you got Starbucks and some other things that are developing across the street. You got a Winn-Dixie shopping center also right behind Starbucks. So the reason I made this video is to give you some answers to your questions. And most of those questions I get are, what's it going to be like once I move there? Not so much, hey, what's this house look like, but what's the area like? And so that's why I make these videos. But like I mentioned, my name's Jeff Jones. I'd love to help you any way I can. I'm with Keller Williams right here in the city of Mobile. And just call the number on the screen. Shoot me a message. Now, if you want to dive a little deeper, well, I've got a free relocation guide that you can download if you'll click the link below. It's going to tell you all the things you want to know about Mobile And also, if you want to, well, say you like podcasts, well, I've got several episodes of the Living in Mobile, Alabama podcast. You can click the link below for that as well. So, livinginmobile.com, shoot me a text, email, call me, any way you want to reach out. I'll be happy to help you, answer your questions any way I can, but I can't wait for the next video.